So let's see. Both cases, cause number 315911 and cause number 323581. Mr. Faggart, what is your announcement in Ms. Haley Gidger's cases?
Well, Your Honor, I'm still, believe it or not, still waiting to get the analysis back from the phone expert Eric Devlin in Houston, and I tried to get in touch with him two weeks ago, and I hadn't heard from him. So I'm waiting on that, and I'd ask that we reset it one more time for a pretrial conference to allow me to get that.
Okay. Give us a reset date.
Did you want to keep that February 7th date, or you want to?
Well, I'm gonna probably need another date, but I'm gonna be on vacation from March the 9th through the 16th. I already have a vacation letter on file. So sometime maybe into March or when.
21st or the 28th?
That'll work.
Which one? 21st or the 28th?
28th.
Okay, so it's gonna be reset to March 28th of 2022. Mr. Faggart, get your reset. You can sign that pad, and Ms. Haley, excuse me, Ms. Gidger, once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go. You have a blessed day. And Mr. Faggart, is this your only case?
I think that is for today, Your Honor.
Okay, you'll be free to go as well, and you have a blessed day. We have Mr. Okay, we're in session at cause number 325709. The case is style of state of, and cause number 325707. Both cases are style of state of Texas versus Clay Elwood Autry. The third, we have Mr. Clay Autry appearing via Zoom. Mr. Autry, how are you doing?
Doing good, Your Honor. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Autry, you are represented by your attorney, Attorney Adam Crawshaw. Attorney Crawshaw, how are you doing?
Doing well, Judge. Thank you.
That's good. Mr. Crawshaw, what is your announcement in Mr. Clay Autry's case or cases?
Judge, I'm still, Mr. Autry is still waiting on the breath test records that were ordered to be produced on September 8th of last year.
Oh, wow. What? Okay. So y'all gonna look into that? Yeah, okay, the district attorney's office is going to look into it. We'll give you a reset. How much time do you need, Mr. Crawshaw?
Judge, we need, I don't know when to expect the records, but once I get them, I'm gonna send them on for technical review.
Okay.
So 60 days.
60 days? Okay, that'll be fine. I'll give us the reset date. Okay, this case will be reset. Well, these cases will be reset to March 14th of 2022. Mr. Crawshaw, your reset will be sent to you. And Mr. Autry, your attorney will be given a copy of your reset. Stay in contact with your attorney and your bondsman. Mr. Autry, this will conclude your cases. You're free to go and you have a blessed day. And Mr. Crawshaw, this will conclude your cases as well. You're free to go and you have a blessed day as well.
You too. Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Is Mr. Bailey, could you see if Kenneth Murray is present?
He's been here every time, Judge. He may try to zoom in. I'm not sure. He's
Oh, okay.
from out of town. and
Oh,
he's-
okay.
He's driven down here, I don't know how many times.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I've got 3 other cases too.
Okay.
There it is.
Okay. And Mr. Bailey, would you also get, Sasha Block?
Oh, there, Murray.
Get Sasha Block and Michael Martindale
And Brewster.
and, Brewster.
This is the graphic.
The court is in session in 3 cases. First case is cause number 326170. Second case is cause number 326172. And the third case is cause number 326784. All 3 cases are styled the state of Texas versus Kenneth Julius Murray. Mr. Murray, is that your full name?
Yes,
How you doing, Mr. Murray?
I'm good, Your Honor.
That's good. Now, Mr. Murray, you're here represented by your attorney, Alan Parker. Attorney Parker, how are you doing?
Good, Judge.
Let's see.
Sorry.
Mr. Parker, what is your announcement in Mr. Kenneth Murray's cases?
Your Honor, it's my understanding from the DA's office, one of the cases is going to be dismissed. I have a new offer to talk to my client about. It's, he lives in Dallas, and so I need to get with him to get him some discovery. But on the other 2, it's my anticipation that it's gonna be a trial. I have an offer for him. I need to relate to him, talk to him about, but I just as soon go ahead and put it on the trial docket so we can move it.
Okay, let me ask you, you say one case is gonna be dismissed, is that today or? is it
I
gonna-
don't know.
in the
I think-
future, or-
No, it's just, I provided them stuff the last time we were here, they told me they're gonna dismiss that case. But it hadn't been done because we hadn't moved the other cases.
Okay. Could you check and I
But
see,
if anything, we're gonna ask that to be put on trial docket too, but I feel comfortable that they're gonna dismiss that one based on what they told me.
okay. Do we have any bond conditions in it? Okay, let me do this here.
Yeah.
Two. Yeah. Okay, I'll copy that. Yeah, it's reset. What date is,
You want to do March 28th, or do you want to April date?
It doesn't matter.
March 28th then?
you have his reset? Oh, that's right, he got it signed.
Yes.
That's right.
And he becomes, let's see, it's gonna pull up.
Parker, hand it to your client. Mr. Murray, what your attorney just handed you is what is called our standard bond conditions in County Court at Law number 2. And I will go over these conditions with you. And it reads, following arrest and or accusation in County Court at Law number 2 of Jefferson County, Texas, all bail bonds executed for release of any defendant named herein or ordered subject to the following additional conditions. Number 1, the defendant shall commit no offense against the laws of this state, any other state, or of the United States. Do you understand that condition?
Yes, sir.
And condition number 2, the defendant shall submit to testing for drugs and alcohol at any time as directed by the court. The court may revoke the bond and order the arrest of any defendant who, A, refuses to submit to a test for drugs and alcohol when directed to do so by the court, or B, submit to a test for drugs and alcohol, and the test indicates the presence of drugs or alcohol in the defendant's body, and that's pursuant to the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure, Article 17.44, Section 8.2 and Section C2. Do you understand that condition?
You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and condition number 3, the defendant shall not communicate either directly or indirectly with the alleged victim of the pending offense, and the defendant shall not go near any residence, school, or other location frequented by the alleged victim. Do you understand that condition?
Yes, sir.
Now, condition number 4 only applies in the DWI case. Your case is not a DWI case. Well, your cases are not DWI cases, so it doesn't apply here. Mr. Murray, if you fail to adhere to these bond conditions, your bond may be revoked, and if your bond is revoked, you can be placed in the Jefferson County Jail. Your cases have been reset to March 28th, 2022 for trial. Once you get your resets from your attorney, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Sasha Block,
She's in there.
she did it?
She's over there on the left side of the railing.
Okay,
We're waiting on the video on that, Judge.
okay, I'll just go to Martindale. Michael Allen Martindale.
Your Honor,
Mr.
he had 2 cases, Judge. One of them's already been resolved, and there's 1 remaining case. And last time we were saying he was gonna take a class, and he was waiting on a call from, he went to the DA's office, and he was waiting on the call from them. He didn't get the call. And I think it's the pre-trial class is what he told me now. So I probably need to apply for it, I would assume.
You have,
Which I'll sign the.
you have bond conditions on it?
Okay.
Set to come whenever they set. them.
Okay. So it's gonna be a pre-trial, Judge, and we just need to get that set up.
Okay. Now, would you say, he's applying for pretrial
Well,
diversion?
he's right. We already had this agreement before, but I thought it was a different class, and he went to the DA's office, been waiting on the DA's office to call him, and he hadn't heard from him. So talking to the prosecutor this morning, it needs to be the pre-trial diversion class, which he said he will sign off on. So we just need to set that up, however long that takes for the next signing,
He's probably too late for February, March, April, so it'll probably be in April. Let's, give him an April date, well, second week in April. That'll be April 18th. Okay, hold on. April 18th, 2022. This is the 26th, this is 10th, January. Give me a copy of this here, please. We have to give us some bond conditions. Do you have none of this? Sasha Block. Okay. You have his reset? Okay. You don't need to say. Okay, Mr. Martindale, the attorney just handed you what is titled Standard Bond Conditions of County Court Law Number 2. I will go over these conditions with you. And it reads, following arrest and or accusation in County Court Law Number 2 of Jefferson County, Texas, all bail bonds executed for release of any defendant named herein are ordered subject to the following additional conditions. Number one, the defendant shall commit no offense against the laws of this state, any other state, or of the United States. Do you understand that condition?
Yes, sir.
Okay, condition number two, the defendant shall submit to testing for drugs and alcohol at any time as directed by the court. The court may revoke the bond and order the arrest of any defendant who, A, refuses to submit to a test for drugs and alcohol when directed to do so by the court, or B, submit to a test for drugs and alcohol and the test indicates the presence of drugs and alcohol in the defendant's body. And that's pursuant to the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure, Article 17.44, Section A2 and Section C2. Do you understand that condition?
Yes, Your Honor.
And condition number three, the defendant shall not communicate either directly or indirectly with the alleged victim of the pending offense. The defendant shall not go near any residence, school, or other location frequented by the alleged victim. Do you understand that condition?
Yes, sir.
And condition number four doesn't apply, so that, because that only applies in the DWI case. In your case, it's not a DWI case. Now, if you fail to adhere to these bond conditions, your bond may be revoked, and if your bond is revoked, you may be placed in the Jefferson County Jail. Your case has been reset, and once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you.
Next case is cause number 328-448. The case is style of State of Texas versus Sasha.
My name and phone number here.
Yes.
Here. Take it right here.
Okay, the next case is cause number 328-448. Case is style of State of Texas versus Sasha Chanel Block. Is that correct?
Yes.
How you doing, Ms. Block?
Good.
That's good. Ms. Block, you represented here by your attorney, Attorney Alan Parker. Attorney Parker, what's your announcement?
We're asking for more time for video, Judge.
Okay, give us a reset date. April 4th, and this to still be on the announcement docket. Okay, Ms. Block, once you get your reset from your attorney, Mr. Parker, you'll be free to go on your last day. And Mr. Parker, I think this will conclude your cases.
No, Mr. Brewster.
Yeah,
Brandon Brewster, I think he's on page 5. I think I heard you say 5 earlier.
yeah, he's the last one.
Yeah.
Brandon Brewster? Yes, Mr. Parker. Mr. Parker, she needs you to sign over there.
I'll sign. They notify me? Okay.
They'll usually.
Okay. You can go.
Okay, this is cause number 330450, case of style of State of Texas versus Brandon Scott Brewster. Mr. Brewster, how you doing?
All right.
That's good, Mr. Brewster. You're here represented by your attorney, Attorney Alan Parker. Attorney Parker, what's your announcement in Mr. Brewster's case?
Your Honor, we're waiting on some more discovery in this case, and we're asking for another announcement docket. Reset to the announcement docket.
April 4th, okay. This case will be reset to April 4th of 2022. Mr. Brewster, once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. And this will conclude your case.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Parker, you'll be free to go as well and you have a blessed day. Stand over there. Mr. Bailiff, would you please get Sherelle Bennett? Okay, this is cause number 324096. Case is filed the State of Texas versus Sherelle L. Bennett. Ms. Bennett, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Ms. Bennett?
I'm all right.
That's good. Ms. Bennett, you're here, represented by your attorney, Mr. Nathan Reynolds. Mr. Reynolds, how you doing?
Doing well, Judge. Thank you.
That's good. Mr. Reynolds, what is your announcement in Ms. Bennett's case?
Ms. Bennett was going to pay a fine, Judge,
Yes,
and she's asking for one more reset, but she does not,
you have the money.
she doesn't have the money today.
How much time do you need?
Just a reset.
How much time? 30 days, 60 days?
60 days.
I mean, 60?
days.
Okay, give her a reset, give us a 60-day reset.
March 14th.
Okay, this case will be reset to March 14th of 2022. Mr. Reynolds, you can stand over there and sign your reset. Is this your last name?
No, sir, Judge, I have two
Okay,
more.
all right.
Or two more.
Once you get your reset from your, Mr. Reynolds, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, sir. You too.
Okay, y'all can stand over there and get your reset. Is it Miles Guidry? Mr. Bailiff, would you please see if Miles Guidry is here and Kashmir Morgan on the trial docket? You did. Miles Guidry? This is cause numbers 324552 and cause number 324554. Cases, both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Miles John Guidry. Mr. Guidry, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Mr. Guidry?
Pretty good. What about yourself?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Mr. Guidry, you're here represented by your attorney, Mr. Nathan Reynolds. Mr. Reynolds, what is your announcement in Mr. Guidry's case?
Judge, I believe last time Mr. Guidry asked for a trial.
Yes, it's on the trial docket.
And he wasn't here this morning, so I'm assuming that has not changed. You still want a trial for this?
Yeah.
Okay, now, this case will have to be reset because of the county's COVID protocol.
Yes, sir,
We
Judge.
cannot have any jury trials this month,
We understand.
and so, give us a trial date. Okay, your cases are going to be reset for trial on March 14th of 2022. Mr. Guidry, once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
All right, you as well.
Mr. Bailiff, did Kashmir Morgan? Okay.
One second. We're in session in two cases. First case is cause number 328-086. Second case is cause number 329-266. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Kashmir Annette Morgan. Ms. Morgan, is that your full name? Oh, okay, one of them does have Monique. How are you doing, Ms. Morgan?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking, Ms. Morgan. You're here represented by your attorney, Mr.
Nathan Reynolds. Mr. Reynolds, Ms. Morgan's cases are on the trial docket. What is your announcement?
Judge, I visited with her this morning and she is still requesting a trial.
Okay, could you give us a trial date?
You want to keep it on the same day or a different day?
Same day.
March 14th.
Okay, Ms. Morgan, your case is gonna be reset for trial, March 14th. Your case is being reset because, due to the county COVID protocol, we cannot have a jury trials this month. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. And Mr. Reynolds, does this conclude your case?
I believe it is.
Okay, you're free to go as well and you have a blessed day. Is that, Lennon Prince on Zoom? Please take your mic off of mute. It's frozen, huh? Is that? Yeah, I think that's it's frozen. Yep, it was. Did you see a press on the docket? I don't see his name on, I didn't see his name as a lawyer either. Okay. Is Forrest French present? Forrest French on trial docket? This is cause number 321-899, case of style of state of Texas versus Forrest French. Is that your full name?
Yes.
How you doing, Mr. French? That's good. Mr. French, you're here represented by your attorney, Mr. Brent Turk. Attorney Turk, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Judge. How are you?
I'm doing fine, thanks. Excellent. What is your announcement in Mr. French's case?
We're ready, Judge.
Okay, Mr. Turk, due to the county's COVID protocol, we cannot have any jury trials this month, so this case is going to be, it has to be reset. This,
March 14th.
okay, case has been reset for March 14th for trial. Mr. French, once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. And this is on the case?
That's it.
Okay, you have a blessed day as well, Mr. Turk.
Thanks, Judge. Just to kind of, and this is, you can, just for the court certification, I'm going to be pulling up, so March is going to be probably my last month here to 2 trials for most of the year. I'm going to be sent to Africa for February
Wow.
for about a month, and then I'm going to be sent to the border for about 4 months in April. So anyway, just want to let the court know, that way if something comes up, I'm going to send letters out, but I'm just letting each
Okay.
court know. So
Okay, all right, thanks.
thanks, Judge.
You welcome. Mr. Prince, Lennon Prince,
Yes, Your Honor.
now, are you representing someone?
Yes, sir, Your Honor. I'm here for Jacoby Moore.
More.
Case number.
Okay, okay, there it is. Mr. Bailey, would you please get Jacoby Moore? Come forward. Okay, this is cause number 327-818. The case is styled the state of Texas versus Jacoby O'Neill Moore. Mr. Moore, is that your full name? Mr. Moore, how are you doing? I'm doing fine. Mr. Moore, you're here represented by your attorney, Attorney Lennon Prince, who is appearing via Zoom. Attorney Prince, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, Your Honor.
That's good. Attorney Prince, what is your announcement in Mr. Moore's case?
Your Honor, I'm asking the state, the judge, the court to give me a little bit more time to visit with the state. We may be able to get this worked out. It's not too difficult a case. The facts are really not in contradiction.
Okay, how much time do you need?
I think 60 days would get it done, Your Honor.
Okay, could you give us a date?
March 14th.
Okay, this case is gonna be reset to March 14th of 2022 for your announcement. Attorney Moore, your reset will be sent to you in the mail. And Mr. Prince, your reset will be sent to you in the mail. And Mr. Moore, you can get your reset here, stand on the X or the 4X over there. And in front of our court coordinator, once you get your reset, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. And Mr. Prince, this will conclude your cases. You're free to go as well and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Your Honor. You do the same.
Thank you. Okay, Eddie Martin. Party from the town. You ready, anybody? Who do they have? The cap? We'll see you later, Mr. Moore. All right, you have a blessed day. Let's see, Patel. That's for is Mr. Vasquez, are you standing in for Mr. Macon?
Yes, Your Honor, we have a plea this morning.
Yes. Would you please, Mr. Bailiff, would you please call Hardik Patel? The court is in session in cause number 329200. Case is style of state of Texas versus Hardik G. Patel. Mr. Patel, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Patel, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Patel, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Patel, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Patel?
I'm doing good, sir. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Patel, your attorney of record is Mr. James Macon. However, Mr. Macon is not here today.
Yeah.
However, we have Mr. Joel Vasquez who's standing in for Attorney Macon. Does Mr. Vasquez have your permission to stand in for Attorney Macon?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Vasquez, how are you doing?
Good, Your Honor. How about yourself?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Patel, in cause number 329200, 200, I have an information before me that alleges that on or about February 3rd of 2021, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of selling alcoholic beverage to a minor. Mr. Patel, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. Patel, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No context.
Now, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
I'm sorry.
You're pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Patel, I have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment, is also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. Mr. Patel, do you recognize this document?
Yeah.
On page 2 of this same document, Mr. Patel, there are a set of initials on a line next to a box that's checked no for tendering. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yeah, those are mine.
On page 3 of the same document, there is a signature above the line that is titled Defendant. Is that your signature?
That's mine as well.
On the next document, which is titled the Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is that your signature above the line
Yeah.
that's titled Defendant? There are 2 boxes that are checked at the top of this document. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Right.
The second box states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Do we have a discovery certification?
Yes, sure.
Mr. Patel, I also have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification.
Right.
Do you recognize this document?
Yeah.
Is this your signature above the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes.
Mr. Patel, prior to signing and initialing these documents, did your attorney, Mr. Vasquez, go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir.
And is it everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yeah.
Mr. Patel, are you a U.S. citizen?
No.
Okay. And let's see, where's the list? My list. Mr. Patel, what country are you from?
India.
Okay, they're not on the list. Now. It's not a mandatory notification. Action is this, those mandatory. Okay, now, Mr. Okay, now, Mr. Patel, I have a form here, and India is not on the list for mandatory notification to the consulate. And it reads, as a non-US citizen who is being arrested or detained, you may request that we notify your country's consular office here in the United States of your situation. You may also communicate with your consular's officers. A consul officer may be able to help you obtain legal representation and may contact your family and visit you in detention, among other things. If you want to notify your consul office, you may request this notification now or at any time in the future. Do you want us to notify your consular officers at this time? I can give you, let me get this to your attorney. Your attorney can discuss that with you. And before he does that, let me go back over State's Exhibit number 1, which is the misdemeanor plea admonishment. There is a paragraph in State's Exhibit number 1 that you initial. At the bottom, it says citizenship, and it reads, if you are not a U.S. citizen, a plea of guilty or nolo contendere may result in your deportation, exclusion from admission to this country or to the country, or denial of naturalization under federal law. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Now, prior to you entering this plea, did your attorney explain that to you?
I was aware of it.
You said you was aware of it?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, do you still want to go forward with your plea?
Yes.
Okay. Now, that form that was passed out, you could take some time, you could discuss that with your client, and whatever box he needs to sign at the top, you can check that off and sign it. Okay?
Your Honor, may I witness? May I witness it?
Yeah, well, I said witness. Can't say you can, and I just said witness. I don't. Okay, and just for the record, you only had, it was just this one, the other one was matched. Foreign nationals, so he's not from a mandatory, at the bottom, he's not from a mandatory notification country. So that, he only had to do this here.
Oh, correct, Judge.
He's, yes, and maybe initially, yeah. and Mr. Vasquez. As I guess, as his attorney, you complied with the requirements of Padilla versus Kentucky regarding advising Mr. Patel of the consequences of his rights and consequences pertaining to citizenship, whether or not he could be deported, denied naturalization under federal law, or denied entry into the country?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, Mr. Patel, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, Mr. Patel, prior to signing all of these documents that we just went over,
Yeah.
did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Right.
Okay. Now, Mr. Vasquez, could you have him initial next to the paragraph that says citizenship?
Yes, sir.
Oh, Mr. Boyd. State, I have before me state's exhibit number 1, misdemeanor plea admonishment, also referred to as state's exhibit number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishments. You like to offer that as state's exhibit number 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
And I also have before me state's exhibit number 2, the probable cause affidavit. You also like to offer this as state's exhibit number 2?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections?
No objection.
No objection. State's exhibits number 1 and 2 are admitted. Mr. Vasquez, you've advised in counsel. Mr. Patel, is there any evidence that he's currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Patel, your attorney, Mr. Vasquez, has advised in counsel to you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided fully effective and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Patel, also, Mr. James Macon has advised in counsel to you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Absolutely.
Has he provided fully effective and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Patel, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your pleas and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
What is that agreement?
The 1 year deferred adjudication, a $600 fine, and 20 hours community service.
Sure, okay. Mr. Patel, state is offering that you serve 1 year deferred adjudicated probation. During this 1 year deferred adjudicated probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $600 plus court costs of $352. The total fine and court costs is $952. You will also be required to pay a probation fee of $60 each month, or your analysis fee of $15 each month. Your total monthly installments, that is the total amount that you would have to pay each month while you're on probation, is $165. Mr. Patel, would you be able to pay the $165?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Patel, you'll also be required to perform 20 hours of community service and adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of probation. Mr. Patel, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir. I just have one concern. I moved out from Texas to Illinois, so I will be able to perform that community hours in my county. Right?
No, okay, you can talk to the probation officer about your residence.
Okay.
All right, now, let's see. Mr. Patel, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yeah,
And do you accept the state's offer?
yes,
Mr. Patel, I'll follow the plea bargaining agreements that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Patel, if you successfully complete this probationary period, this case will be dismissed. It would not appear on your record as a conviction, and you may qualify for a non-disclosure. You can talk to your attorneys about a non-disclosure. They are quite competent in those matters. Now, Mr. Patel, you're gonna stand on the X next to Attorney Vasquez. You're gonna follow the directions of our court clerk. Once you finish following her directions, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day.
thank you so much, Your Honor.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thanks, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Mr. Vasquez, is this your only case?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, you'll be free to go as well, and you have a blessed day.
You too, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, this is cause number 322936. Case is style of State of Texas versus Cameron Austin Hernandez. Mr. Hernandez is appearing via Zoom. Mr. Hernandez, you could take your mic off of mute. Mr. Hernandez, you could take your mic off of mute. Okay, yeah, I'm more- See you, Lord. Elisa Danielle Ramsey. We're in session in cause number 328794. Case is style of State of Texas versus Alicia Danielle Ramsey. Ms. Ramsey, is that your full name?
Yes.
How are you doing, Ms. Ramsey? I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Ms. Ramsey, you're here represented by your attorney, Ms. Lori Ferrazzo. Ms. Ferrazzo, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Your Honor. Thank you.
That's good. Ms. Ramsey, I have before me an information that alleges that on or about November 12th of 2020, while you were operating a motor vehicle in a public place in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated with an alcohol concentration level of 0.15 or more. Ms. Ramsey, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes.
And to this charge, Ms. Ramsey, how do you plead guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
Now, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Yes.
Ms. Ramsey, I have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment. It is also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
And on page 2 of the same document, there's a set of initials, AR, on a line next to a box that's checked Nola Contendere. Are these your initials?
Yes.
On page 3 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled Defendant. Ms. Ramsey, is that your signature?
Yes.
And on the next document, which is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes.
Is this your signature above the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes.
There are 2 boxes that are checked at the top of this document. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargaining case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that? The second box states that you're waiving your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes.
And Ms. Ramsey, I also have another document before me. This document is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
Is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes.
Now, Ms. Ramsey, prior to signing and initialing both of these documents, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? State, I have before me State's Exhibit Number 1. State, you like to offer State's 1?
Yes, Your Honor. Also, State's Exhibit Number 2, the probable cause affidavit.
Any objections? No objections. State's Exhibits 1 and 2 are admitted. Ms. Ferrazzo, you've advised and counseled Ms. Ramsey. Is there any evidence that she is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Ramsey, your attorney, Ms. Ferrazzo, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with her representation?
I am.
Has she provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes.
Ms. Ramsey, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
It's 180 days jail, probated over 15 months,
Okay,
a $500 fine,
okay,
60 hours community service,
okay,
DWI education course,
okay,
drug and alcohol assessment,
okay.
and ignition interlock.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Ramsey, the state is offering that you serve 180 days in Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not have to serve any time in the Jefferson County Jail in this case because you will be placed on probation for 15 months. During the 15-month probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $500 plus court costs of $422, which comes to a total of $922. You will also be required to pay a probation fee of $60 each month, or your analysis fee of $15 each month. You'll be required to pay the Jefferson County DWI education class and initial evaluation fee of $125 on the day of the plea. Should a further evaluation be needed, you'll be required to pay an additional $50. Now, the total Monthly installments that you would have to pay, that is the total amount that you would have to pay each month while you're on probation, is $145 a month. Will you be able to pay $145 a month? You will also be required to perform 80 hours of. You say 60.
The 60, Your Honor.
That's what I thought.
The original offer said 80.
It was 80 in here, okay. So it's 60?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Okay,
Don't have a problem with that.
okay, you would have to make that change right here,
Okay.
and we're gonna have to change the paperwork. Okay. Oh. You will be required to pay, to perform 60 hours of community service. You'll be required to attend and complete a DWI education class, have a drug and alcohol assessment, install an interlock device on any vehicle that you own or operate, and you'll be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of this probation. Ms. Ramsey, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes.
And do you accept the state's offer? Okay, Ms. Ramsey, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Ms. Ramsey, you will stand on the X next to your attorney and follow the directions of our court clerk. Once you finish following her directions, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You are welcome. Mr. Bailiff, is Jordan Lucas, did Jordan Lucas arrive? Court is in session in two cases. First case is cause number 329-388. Second case is cause number 329-392. All two cases are styled the state of Texas versus Jordan Dwayne Lucas. Mr. Lucas, is that your full name? How you doing, Mr. Lucas? That's good, Mr. Lucas. You're here represented by your attorney, Mr. James Paget. Attorney Paget, how you doing?
Doing well, good morning, Your Honor.
That's good. Mr. Paget, do you have an announcement? Well, Mr. Lucas' case is set on the court's trial docket. What is your announcement?
Your Honor, we're gonna go ahead and hold on a second. We're gonna go ahead and stay on the trial docket. I mean, I heard you make the announcement.
Okay, now, Mr. Lucas, before you came in, I previously made an announcement. Because of the county's COVID protocol, we're not allowed to have any jury trials this month. And so your case will have to be reset for trial, okay? So what date is that?
March 14th.
It's gonna be reset to March 14th of 2022. Mr. Lucas, once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. Mr. Paget, would you please sign the pad over there?
I will, Your Honor.
Okay.
I have a couple.
Right for you. Right. We swear you never with him.
Mr. Bailiff,
Other than anything.
would you call Jeffrey McConnell?
He certainly will not be here, Your Honor. He's been in custody for quite a while.
Oh, okay.
We have a 1 PM hearing today in the criminal district court that I'm hoping may take care of this case as well.
Okay,
So I'll be headed over to the jail this afternoon.
okay. Could you call Kenneth Dunlop?
I hope Mr. Dunlap is here. In fact, I'm
He's
pretty
here.
sure he is. Yes. We have a felony in drug impact court that we'll be headed down to after we leave here.
He may have, I see.
Yeah, we have a drug impact court at 10 o'clock this morning, so.
Which case? You talking about my comment? He said if it's disposed of today, or do you want it placed on the jail run docket for Thursday? That's what.
We better not do that, just out of abundance of caution. We might want to be a little bit more time on that. I mean, we can do that, but I'd hate to do it in case not get disposed.
No, that's what she said, if it's disposed.
Okay, yeah, oh, absolutely, that's fine.
Yeah.
That'll be perfect. I'm sorry, I misunderstood.
Okay, no problem. This is cause number 329708. The case is styled the state of Texas versus Kenneth Dunlop. Mr. Dunlap, is that your full name? How you doing, Mr. Dunlap? That's good. Mr. Dunlap, you're present here with your attorney, Mr. James Padgett. Mr. Padgett, what is your announcement in Mr. Dunlap's case?
Your Honor, I'm going to ask that we hold our announcement. We're headed down to drug impact court right now.
Okay.
And I'm going to receive an offer this morning.
Okay,
And I'm hoping we'll dispose of this case.
okay. All right.
So I can notify the court afterward.
Yeah, well, yeah, but he needs he has to come back here. Once you finish with you in felony court today?
Well, yeah, right. And I don't think it's going to be disposed of. So.
Yeah, but I mean, if it's not, y'all have to come back here. You have to let us know. He has
Well,
to
I mean,
make it.
I could do that because I mean, he's making his
Well,
appearance.
Well,
here.
what we've been doing is having everybody to come back. I mean, he's just right down the hall, right?
Right, and he
Or
just.
next
has-
door?
His job's just right down, it's.
Yeah, it's just next
that's what
door.
we-
So just stick it
Drug
there.
court.
He's in drug court? Okay, next door. Okay. Well, just come back and then we'll we'll dispose of it or reset it, depends on what happens.
Okay, well, I
Okay.
mean, I'm certain it's going to be reset down there because I haven't received video evidence. the only issue is what date it's going to be reset. to
Okay. So,
down there.
yeah, just have him to come back, give us the date.
I'm sorry.
We'll give him his reset and he'll be free to go. Okay. I think Mr. Padgett, is that the last one that you have? That's the last one you have
Yes, Your
right now? Okay, you're free to go? All right. Okay, we have Martin, Overstreet, and Sawyer. Hold on, please.
Do McConnell, or I'll go check on McConnell this afternoon. I'll let you know.
We have Mr. Bailiff, is Diamond Hayward present for Mr. McIntosh? Yeah.
Until today.
Okay, Mr. McIntosh,
Yes, Judge.
okay, we have, we in session in cause number 327-065. Case is style of state of Texas versus Diamond Lachey Ali Hayward. Ms. Hayward, is that your full name?
It's Diamond LaShawn. It's not Hayward at all.
Diamond LaShawn
Ali.
Ali? Okay, well, it's on the docket as Diamond LaShawn Ali Hayward. Okay, that's how it's performed. Was that a former name?
No, that's my dad's.
Or that's your dad's name?
Yes.
For some reason, let's see, Hayward. Let's see. Let's see, let me make sure. Let's see, yeah. Yeah, on the information is Diamond LaShawn Ali Hayward. Now, how are you doing? You doing fine? Now, you're here represented by your attorney, Mr. Charles McIntosh. Mr. McIntosh, how are you doing?
Doing well, Judge. Thank you.
Oh, Mr. McIntosh, what is your announcement?
Yes, Judge. This case is a little bit unusual, and I've been working with the DA's office on it, but we have not reached a resolution yet. But I think we can with just one more announcement docket.
Okay, how much time do you need?
Just a standard reset's fine, Judge.
Okay, this case will be reset to March 7th, 2022. Now, you can stand on the 4X in front of our court coordinator. She'll give you a reset. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
And Miss Hayward, once I hear from the DA's office, I'll give you a call.
Okay, she heard. Now, Mr. McIntosh, you have anything else?
No, Judge, I believe this is it.
Okay, you're free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Judge. You as well.
Okay. Mr. Bailiff, could you check and see Melvin Palmer is present? I see he has a. Okay. This is cause number 329596, case of style of state of Texas versus Melvin Ray Palmer.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Palmer, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
How are you doing?
All right.
That's good. Mr. Palmer, you're here represented by your attorney, William Wilkerson. Attorney Wilkerson, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Your Honor. Thank you.
That's good. Mr. Wilkerson, I see Mr. Palmer had he had 2 felony cases set today as well.
Yes, Your Honor. We've been over to drug court this morning. Those matters were set on the court's trial docket for April 4th.
Do you want these cases set on the same day or a different day?
Well, Your Honor, given that they're on the trial docket, it would and it's set in the afternoon.
Okay.
So it would probably be better, Judge, to set them maybe the week following.
Okay. Mr. Palmer, your case, these cases are set for, well, this case is set for April 11th. Your attorney, your bond will be given a copy of reset. Once you get your reset from your attorney, once he signed the pad, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Wilkerson, you have any other cases?
I have 2 more, Judge.
Okay.
One, I believe, is still in jail, so that would be automatically reset. And then I have Ms.
Ventura?
Ventura.
Yes. Please get Giovanna Ventura. You didn't have a response on Ventura? Okay.
Your Honor, if I may approach momentarily, Mr. Wilkerson has the misdemeanor case on Miss Ventura, and I have a felony case. On Friday, the criminal district court in the 252nd moved her case from this morning at 9 o'clock
Okay.
until tomorrow at 9 o'clock. So it may be, she might have thought the misdemeanor was reset as well. My advice is maybe contact her and see if you can get her on Zoom.
I will,
To do that, because we will
Okay.
be disposing of the felony case tomorrow at 9 a.m.
Okay. Okay.
Somebody had tested positive and they aren't gonna be able to come back in until this afternoon.
Okay. Okay.
257.
I'll attempt to do that. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't think
Okay,
it should be a
okay.
problem, but I'll get her on Zoom.
Okay, that's fine.
Judge, ma'am, be excused.
Yes, you may be
Trying to
excused and you have a
contact
blessed
her.
day.
And I'll try and get her on.
Yeah. Mr. Bailey, would you please call the name of Elkeisha Jatan DeVault? I was set for appointment. That's right. Drug court. Okay, Mr. Samuel, Elkeisha DeVault didn't answer like she was set for a punishment hearing today in drug court.
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
She may still be over in drug court. So we'll have to see if she finish up in drug court and then come over here. Is this the only case you have?
No, sir, I have one other. Stacy Tumplet was set for trial. She still wants a trial.
Okay, Tom Plate?
She's out front. She's present.
Okay, the bailiff is going to get her. Okay, where is she? Okay. Okay. Oh, they said that, what's her name?
DeVault?
Yeah, they said she, her case was disposed of this morning. She got 9 months state jail. So you want to set that for Thursday on the jail review?
Let me see. This coming Thursday?
Yes.
Yes, that's fine.
Okay, what day is that?
Thursday the 13th?
13th, okay. Okay.
It's at 9 a.m., Your Honor.
Yes. Okay, we're in session in cause number 327066. Case is style of State of Texas versus Stacy Yvette Tomplate. Ms. Tomplate, how are you doing?
Okay.
Ms. Tomplate, I see, well, you're here represented by your attorney, Alwyn Samuel. Mr. Samuel, what is your announcement
Your Honor, we have a trial setting. We are ready for trial.
Okay, and Ms. Tom Plate, because of the county's COVID protocol, we cannot have any trials this month. So your case is going to be reset for trial on a different date.
Okay.
Okay, give us a trial date. Okay, it's gonna be reset to March 14th of 2022. Ms. Tom Plate, you can stand on the 4X in front of our court coordinator. Once you get your reset from our court coordinator, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
Okay, thank you. You too.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Tomplate. Thank you, Your Honor. Am I free to go, Your Honor?
Yes, you're free to go as well and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Allen, are you ready in your cases? What's the name?
I declined who showed up late. Last name is Garrell. Alternate Garrell.
Okay, alternate Guerrero is here. Okay.
Please, Sawyer.
Yeah, we got Diavante, sorry, you got Eddie Martin.
Yes, Martin's.
Yeah. Mr. Bailiff, would you please get Deontay Sawyer and Eddie Martin?
Also have plea ready for Overstreet.
Yeah. Overstreet. Is this Overstreet?
This is Sawyer.
Sawyer? Court is in session in cause number 328577. Case is style of state of Texas versus Deontay Giovanni Sawyer. Is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Would you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth so help you God? You may put your hand down. Sorry, you here representing, well, your attorney of record is Mr. Terrence Allison. However, we have attorney Maurice Allen, who is standing in for Mr. Allison. Does Attorney Allen have your permission to stand in for Mr. Allison?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, I have before me an information in cause number 328577 that alleges that on or about September 27 of 2020, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, in a public place, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated with an alcohol concentration level of 0.15 or more. Sorry, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, how do you plead? Guilty?
Guilty.
Not guilty or no contest?
Guilty.
Now, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty? Sorry, I have before me a document that is titled misdemeanor plea admonishments. Do you recognize this document? And on page 2 of the same document, are these your initials on the line next to boxes checked guilty?
Yes, sir.
And on the 3rd page of the same document, there's a signature above the line that's titled defendant. Is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
And I have another document here. This document is titled the misdemeanor plea admonishment. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature above the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
There are 2 boxes that's checked at the top of this document. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
The second box states that you are waiving your right to appeal, which means you're giving up your right to appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
We have that discovery certification. And Ms. Sawyer, I also have before me a document that is titled discovery certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature above the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
Sawyer, prior to signing and initialing these documents that I've just mentioned to you, did your attorney Allen, go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1. State, you like to offer State's Exhibit number 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections, Mr. Allen?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, no objections. State's Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Allen, you've advised and counseled Ms. Sawyer. Is there any evidence that she is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Sawyer, your attorney, Mr. Allen, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided fully effective and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
And your attorney, Mr. Allison, has also advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, Mr. Well, State, State, before I do that, I'll say this. Ms. Sawyer, I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I also accept your plea of guilty. In this case, I'll also find that your pleas and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. I also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
What is that agreement?
180 days jail, probated over 1 year.
Okay,
It's a $750 fine.
$750,
75 hours community service,
community service.
DWI education course,
DWI.
drug and alcohol assessment, and ignition interlock.
Interlock. Okay. Ms. Sawyer. The state is offering, in this case, that you serve 180 days in jail. However, you will not have to serve any time in jail on this case because you'll be placed on probation for 1 year. During the 1 year probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $750 plus court costs. Now, the fine and court costs will come to a total of $1,172. You also be required to pay a probation fee of $60 each month, a urinalysis fee of $15 each month. You'll be required to reimburse Jefferson County court-appointed attorney's fees of $250. You'll be required to pay a Jefferson County DWI education class and initial evaluation fee of $125 on a day of plea. Should a further evaluation be needed, you'll be required to pay $50. Now, your total monthly installments that you'll be required to pay, that is a total amount that you will be required to pay each month, is $205 while you're on probation. Will you be able to pay the $205 each month?
Yes.
You will also be required to perform 75 hours of community service, attend and complete a DWI education class, have a drug and alcohol assessment, and you'll be required to install an interlock device on any vehicle that you own or operate. You will also be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of this probation. Ms. Sawyer, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Sawyer, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Ms. Sawyer, you're going to stand on the X next to Mr. Allen. You will follow the directions of our clerk. Once you finish following her directions, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. Okay. You're gonna be required to sign a pad too.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Boyd.
Yes, Your Honor. It's just
Judge.
in dealing with the, his client speaks Spanish mostly.
He does speak English, Judge, but it's kind of slow, and he says, I would much rather do this, the plea in Spanish, and so I just didn't know how the court, if y'all had an
We have
interpreter.
an
here.
interpreter, yeah.
Okay, wonderful, just
And that's
checking.
what I
Judge.
was.
Yeah, we got,
you'll get,
yeah, we have a couple of interpreters.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Judge.
do it.
Is that coming up?
Court is in session and calls number 327698. Case is filed the state of Texas versus Dana Cheryl Overstreet. Ms. Overstreet, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Overstreet, would you please raise your right hand? Ms. Overstreet, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Overstreet, you may put your hand down. How you doing, Ms. Overstreet?
Fine, and you, sir?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Ms. Overstreet, your attorney of record is Mr. Terrence Allison. Mr. Allison is not here today. However, we have attorney Rivius Allen, who is standing in the place of Mr. Allison. Does Mr. Allen have your permission to stand in Mr. Allison's place?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ms. Overstreet, in cause number 327698, I have before me an information that alleges that on or about August 9th of 2020, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the class A misdemeanor offense of assault family violence. Ms. Allen, do you understand, excuse me, Ms. Overstreet, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Ms. Overstreet, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, no contest?
Guilty.
Now, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Overstreet, I have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment. It's also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of this same document, there's a set of initials. I guess that's DO on the line next to a box that says check guilty.
Yes, sir.
Are these your initials?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of this same document, there is a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
And on the next document, which is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Is this your signature above the line that's
Yes.
titled defendant? There are two boxes that are checked at the top of this document. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
The second box states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
May I have the description? I also have another document before me. This document is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Is this your signature above the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
Overstreet, prior to signing and initialing these documents, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit Number 1. State, you like to offer State's Exhibit Number 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections?
No, Your Honor.
No objections? State's Exhibit Number 1 will be admitted. Attorney Allen, you advise and counsel Ms. Overstreet, is there any evidence that she is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Overstreet, your attorney, Mr. Allen, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Oh, yes, sir.
And Ms. Overstreet, you've also been advised by your attorney, Mr. Terrence Allison. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Overstreet, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea of guilty and waiver is freely and voluntarily given. I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
What is that agreement?
25 days county jail. Ms. Overstreet has credit for 25 days, so court costs, time served and court costs to be taxed and retired.
Ms. Overstreet, state is offering that you serve 25 days in Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not have to serve any more time in Jefferson County Jail on this case because you've already served 25 days in Jefferson County Jail. Therefore, you'll be given credit for time served. The court cost in this case is $337, but you will not have to pay the $337 court cost because the time that you spent in jail has already paid it off. Therefore, the court cost will be taxed and retired. Ms. Overstreet, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Overstreet, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Allen, would you please get us to Ms. Overstreet? Ms. Overstreet, the attorney, Mr. Allen, is handing you a document that is titled Model Written Admonishment on Ineligibility to Possess Firearm or Ammunition. Now, in accordance, I will go over this document with you. In accordance with the Texas Administrative Code, Section 176.1, the court hereby admonishes you of the following. Number one, you are by entry of order or judgment ineligible under Texas law to possess a firearm or ammunition. Number two, beginning now, if you possess a firearm or ammunition, it could lead to charges against you. If you have questions about how long you will be ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition, you should consult an attorney. Number 3, on the Texas Penal Code, section 46.013, A, firearm means any device designed, made, or adapted to expel a projectile through a barrel by using the energy generated by an explosion or burning substance, or any device readily convertible to that use. B, firearm does not include a firearm that may have as an integral part a folding knife blade or other characteristics of weapons made illegal by Penal Code Chapter 46, and that is 1, an antique or curio firearm manufactured before 1899, or 2, a replica of an antique or curio firearm manufactured before 1899, but only if the replica does not use rimfire or centerfire ammunition. The statutes listed below are a starting point for ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition. For more information about the laws that make you ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition, or for more information on how long your ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition lasts, the court recommends you contact an attorney. Code of Criminal Procedure, Article 17.292, Magistrate's Orders for Emergency Protection. Code of Criminal Procedure, Article 42.0131, Notice for persons convicted of misdemeanors involving family violence. Penal Code, Section 46.02, Unlawful carrying weapons. Penal Code, Section 46.04, Unlawful possession of firearm. Penal Code, Section 25.07, violation of certain court orders or conditions of bond in a family violence, child abuse or neglect, sexual assault or abuse, indecent assault, stalking, or trafficking case. Family Code, Section 85.026, warning on protective order. Now, Ms. Overstreet, that document that has been handed out to you, that's your copy.
Yes, sir.
You can stand on the X next to your attorney. Once you finish with our clerk, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day. Okay.
Well, Mr. Dunlap back, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Dunlap,
Yeah, sprint both ways.
Sprint it.
Those steps in. I really did. I just wanted to make you aware that he's back.
okay, his case was reset.
They're resetting it, Your Honor, but the coordinator is going to fax me a court date because they were in court, so she didn't give me a date at the time.
Okay,
In fact, I know what the date's gonna be. It is going to be, I can go ahead and tell you right now. I'll put it in my phone. It is March the 14th.
okay, so we're gonna reset Mr. Dunlap to March the
That
14th.
is the date in drug impact court.
Okay, once you get your reset, you'll be free to go.
No
Thank you,
problem.
last case, and then Mr.
Yes, sir.
Dunlap, once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go as well, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Your Honor. Okay, you can go ahead and go, and I'll send the paperwork to you. That way people don't have to.
Okay, Ms. Marver, I think you here on a person that hadn't showed up.
I also understand he has a felony case.
He has 2 warrants out.
Okay.
Is that correct? Mr. Porter?
Yes.
I want to ask the gentleman that has Cody Broussard. Would you please call the name of Cody Broussard? Laura was on it. Okay, yeah, so if he doesn't appear, probably gonna be a bond forfeiture. He has 2 warrants out.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay,
Your Honor, on the one where we have an enhancement, like a DWI second,
Court is in session and calls number 327-282. The case is styled the state of Texas versus Eddie James Morton. Mr. Morton, is that your full name?
Yes, sir. Jim.
It's also Eddie James Morton Jr. Mr. Morton, would you please raise your right hand? The other hand. You was right. Mr. Morton, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Morton, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Morton?
Fine, Your Honor.
That's good. Now, Mr. Morton, I have before me a document that is titled Information. It is also it has the cause number, which is cause number 327-282. And in this document, it alleges that on July 3rd of 2020, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of assault, family violence. Mr. Morton, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to discharge, Mr. Morton, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contact.
Now, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Free.
I see his paperwork says that he initialed guilty on the box that said guilty. So are you pleading guilty or no contest?
No contact.
Okay, so he just need to make the change. There you go. You could, that acts as a eraser so you can. Okay, now, Mr. Martin, you've entered a plea of no contest to the charge of assault, the Class A misdemeanor offense of assault, family violence. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And I have a document before me that is titled misdemeanor plea admonishment, also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. Do you recognize this document? On page 2 of this same document, there are a set of initials as EJM Jr. on a line that's next to a box checked NOLA contingent, which means no contest. Did you place your initials on this document? On page 3 of this same document, there is a signature above the line that's titled defendant. Is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
And on the next document, which is titled trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is that your signature above the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, also on this here document that you've just acknowledged your signature on, there are two boxes that are checked at the top. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
The second box states that you're waiving your right to appeal, which means you're giving up your right to appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, I also have another document before me that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Martin, prior to signing and initialing these documents that I've just mentioned, all these documents I've just mentioned, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me, State's Exhibit number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment. And also state, you like to offer State's Exhibit number 1 and State's Exhibit number 2, the probable cause affidavit?
Yes, Your Honor.
You have any objections, Mr. Allen? No objections, State's Exhibits number 1 and 2 are admitted. Mr. Allen, you've advised and counsel Mr. Martin. Well, Mr. Martin, let me do this here before we go any further. Now, Mr. Martin, your attorney of record is Mr. Terrence Allison. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And however, Mr. Allison is not here today. Miss Attorney Marivius Allen is standing in Mr. Allison's place. Does Mr. Allen have your permission to stand in for Mr. Allison?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, Mr. Martin, you've been advised and counseled by Mr. Allen. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
You've also been advised and counseled by Attorney Terrence Allison. Has Mr. Allison, are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided fully effective and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, Mr. Martin, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your pleas and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
What is that agreement?
90 days county jail.
Okay. And jail time is to start. What?
Today. Checking in today.
State did give some days.
They'll give you credit for all that. I think 23 plus days, but we just don't write it on. They'll give you-
So he goes in straight from here?
Are you going today?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, Mr. Martin, the state is offering that you serve 90 days in Jefferson County Jail. You'll be given credit for any time that you are entitled to get by law. Now, the court cost in this case is $347. Would you be able to pay the court cost of $347?
Once I get out, go back to work.
So you will not be able to pay the court cost of $347. Is that what you're saying?
I don't have the money right now.
Okay.
I'm not
Could you give me his affidavit of indigence? Just hold on a minute.
can't pay it.
Hold on a minute. He's gonna give me an affidavit of indigence. Alan, could you hand it to your client to review?
You go ahead and fill out the information.
No, it's already been filled out. That's an old, now, Mr., that's one he had previously filled out. Mr. Martin, the document that you have before you is titled Affidavit of Indigence. Do you recognize that document?
No, sir.
Okay, let me get that document back to me. Okay, let's do this here. Showing that signature here. Miss. Mr. Martin, is that your signature on that document?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now could you hand me that document? Now, this document was a document that you signed on, actually, it was 2 years ago. January is 5th of,
Right.
I must have been 2021. I'll put 2020 on here. Must have been 2021. Let's see. Yeah, it was filed on 20. This one actually was signed January 5th of 2021, which was a year ago. And at that time, then you were appointed Attorney Terrence Allison to represent you. You remember that?
Yes, sir.
Now, is everything in this document still true and correct today?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And now, Mr. Martin, based on this affidavit of indigence, the court found that you met the eligibility requirements for the appointment of court-appointed attorney. That simply means that the court found that you was indigent. The court is going to make that same finding today, and based on that finding that the court is making, pursuant to Article 42.15 of the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure, the court costs, in this case, the court cost of $347 will be waived. That simply means you won't have to pay it. Okay, you're welcome. Now, Mr. Martin, do you understand the state's offer? 90 days jail plus you'll be given credit for any time that you're entitled to get by law, and the court is waiving the court cost in this case of $347. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
And do you think that that's a fair offer?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the offer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Martin, I'll follow the pre-bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Martin, you're gonna be immediately going in, and so just follow the bailiff. This will conclude your case, but I think we need to get your signature. Stand on the X next to your attorney and follow the directions of our court coordinator. Once you, our court clerk, and once you finish following her directions, then you will follow the bailiff. All right, and you have a blessed day. And Mr. Allen, I don't think you have any other case. Yeah, one more.
Gorell.
Okay, Gorell, okay. He's gonna follow the bailiff. He's gonna be report. You're gonna taking him in custody, right? Yeah, he's going to jail. Oh, let me ask you something. Is he gonna be reporting by 6, or is he going immediately into custody?
Like I said, you wanted to begin to.
So he's going to serve, right?
Hold on, wait up.
You are happy with that?
Your court, you have agreed to, it was 90 days, and it was to report by 6 o'clock on today. Time to begin.
Well, that's what it is. Yeah.
Okay, so it'll be, so you haven't, so you have to keep that paperwork with you. You turn yourself at the Jefferson County Jail today on or before 6 p.m. today. Okay. Mr. Adams. Oh, we have Gorell. It's like Allison has another one too. You said Gorell? I see a Yashika Charles
That was dismissed, Your Honor.
I was, okay. I was dismissed, okay. Okay,
You said the dismissal.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Garrell. Okay, alternate Garrell. Okay. We're gonna have to do another judgment on this one, where we wait the court call on Martin, on Eddie Martin. Oh, shoot. Oh, man, I forgot. Is Mark, see if Martin is still out there. Yeah. Okay, thanks. Mr. Mark? Where's his attorney?
I believe he was in the restroom.
Oh, I thought the lady went in. Okay. Get his attorney too? No. I just have to, no, I forgot to give you something. She could have a seat. I'll have, yeah, you just have a seat. Mr. Allen, would you come forward? Mr. Martin, you can stand right down there. Got to read you your, what you had that, son? We're back on the record in cause number 327-282. Mr. Martin, you've just been handed a document that is titled Model Written Admonishment on the Eligibility to Possess Firearm or Ammunition. And in accordance with the Texas Administrative Code, section 176.1, the court hereby admonishes you of the following. Number one, you are by entry of order or judgment ineligible under Texas law to possess a firearm or ammunition. Number two, beginning now, if you possess a firearm or ammunition, it could lead to charges against you. If you have questions about how long you will be ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition, you should consult an attorney. Number three, under Texas Penal Code section 46.013, A, firearm means any device designed, made, or adapted to expel a projectile through a barrel by using the energy generated by an explosion or burning substance, or any device readily convertible to that use. B, Firearm does not include firearm that may have as an integral part a folding knife blade or other characteristics of weapons made illegal by Penal Code Chapter 46, and that is one, an antique or curio firearm manufactured before 1899, or two, a replica of an antique or curio firearm manufactured before 1899, but only if the replica does not use rimfire or centerfire ammunition. The statute listed below are starting point for ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition. For more information about the laws that make you ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition, or for more information on how long your ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition lasts, the court recommends you contact an attorney. Code of Criminal Procedure, Article 17.292, Magistrate's Orders for Emergency Protection. Code of Criminal Procedure, Article 42.0131, Notice for persons convicted of misdemeanors involving family violence. Penal Code Section 46.02, Unlawful carrying weapons. Penal Code Section 46.04, Unlawful possession of firearms. Penal Code Section 25.07, violation of certain court orders or conditions of bond in a family violence, child abuse or neglect, sexual assault or abuse, indecent assault, stalking, or trafficking case. Family Code Section 85.026, warning on protective order. Now, Mr. Barton, you can keep that copy for your records. This will conclude your case. You'll be free to go, and you can turn yourself in today at or before 6 p.m. at the Jefferson County Jail. You have a blessed day.
Okay, thank you.
This is cause number 329760, case of style of State of Texas versus Alternate Gorell. Your name Alternate Gorell?
Alternate Gorell.
Alternate Gorell?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Ms. Gorell?
All right, how you doing?
I'm doing fine, thanks. Now, Ms. Gorell, your attorney of record is Attorney Terrence Allison. Attorney Allison is not present here today. However, we have Mr. Marivius Allen, who is standing in the place of Mr. Allison. Does Mr. Allen have your permission to stand in Mr. Allison's place?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Allen, what is your announcement in Ms. Gorell's case?
We will be placed on the docket for trial.
Trial docket? Okay, give us a trial date.
March 14th.
Okay, this case is going to be reset for trial on, for March 14th of 2022. Mr. Allen is going to get a copy of your reset. Once you get your reset from Mr. Allen, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. And, Mr. Allen, I think I have to sign a dismissal that, on another case. Okay, you stand over there, sign that box. Get the reset. You can stand over there with him.
For the reset, yes, sir.
Mr. Mr. Allen, I'm signing that dismissal. The dismissal is printing off. Once you get a copy of the dismissal, you'll be free to go. And you have a blessed day. Yeah.
He's going through the cases thoroughly. We talked about this.
Oh, that's good. Who we have?
Thank you. Appreciate the support.
Yes, sir. You're welcome.
We're gonna need an interpreter.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did, okay. We do this,
I've got 2 quick ones if you want to get.
yeah, okay, yeah, I mean, we got, okay, I mean, you got Rodney Cleveland, did he show up? There's a couple of people. You got Dixon, you got Cleveland, Mr. Kelly.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Dixon, Cleveland. What doctor you on?
Judge, I've got one on your pretrial and one on your now.
Okay. I mean, did Mr. Adams, you get both your clients here?
Yeah, Mr. Cleveland is here. Who's the other one you was asking about?
Dixon, Lance Dixon.
Yeah, I think Lance Dixon showed up.
Okay, let me go. Once you get your client too, you're gonna get your clients. Mr. Cleveland. Your name is Rodney Rochelle Cleveland Jr.? Okay, you represented here by your attorney, Mr. Langston Adams, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And this is cause number 322365-2. Mr. Adams, how are you doing?
Doing good, Judge.
What is your announcement in Mr. Cleveland's case?
I believe on his case, we were going to pay. We just need some time to get some money.
How much time do y'all need?
How much time you need?
Possibly probably about another month, because.
Okay, that's fine. Let's give him 45 days. His name is, he's on Rodney Cleveland on the first page of the announcement docket, the second person. 45-day reset. That's a month and a half.
I give you time to-
Okay, it's gonna be March 28th. Actually, you got more than March, you got over 60 days now. She gave you March 28th.
That's fantastic.
Okay,
Appreciate it.
you can get your reset.
How much is it? $791.
Once you sign your reset, Mr.
$791.
Lance Dixon,
He's here. Yes, $791. Right.
Oh.
Restitution.
Dismissal for restitution.
$791. $791.
Hold on, I have to do it.
would you stand over here and we can get them out? Okay, we have 3 cases, cause number 322614, cause number 322654, and cause number 322656. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Lance Shane Dixon. Mr. Dixon, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
Okay, how you doing, Mr. Dixon? Okay, now, Mr. Dixon, you're represented by attorney Langston Adams. Mr. Adams, I see that Mr. Dixon has, well, he has some felony cases.
Yes, sir.
That's set on February 23rd. You want
I want everything going.
on the same date?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, so Mr. Dixon, your case is gonna be reset to February 23rd. Just have a seat. When your attorney gets your reset, you'll be free to go. You have a blessed day.
I think I have one more.
Why don't you go ahead on and sign the tab?
This is for Cleveland, so I hadn't had it up and was signing today.
Oh, okay, no problem. I think I have this round.
Once you get, Mr. Bailey, would you get both of those?
I think that's my only. I think it's Ms. Randall, and I think Sir Randall, I believe.
Hey, good afternoon, Judge. This is Mr. Galmore.
Okay,
I've been unavailable. I was in the jail. I wasn't sure if I missed my call or not, but I wanted to let you know I'm out of the jail and am now available.
okay. Yeah, we still in session. Is
I
that
have two
Ms.
people, I believe they're both on Zoom.
Yeah, okay. I got Mr. Adams, and then we got Mr. Kelly.
Okay, thank
Just hold on. All right. Mr. Kelly. Then Kate Swearing. Yolanda Renee Randall, would you please come forward? This is cause number 326-528. Case of style of state of Texas versus Yolanda Renee Randall. Ms. Randall, is that your full name? How you doing, Ms. Randall?
I'm sleepy, I work nights.
Okay. Now, Ms. Randall, you're here represented by your attorney, Mr. Langston Adams. Mr. Adams, or what is your announcement in Ms. Randall's case?
Okay, still a trial.
I'm gonna reset. Oh, it's on the, okay. Now, Ms. Randall, due to the county COVID protocol, we're not allowed to have any trials this month. And so all of our trials that set this month is being rescheduled to another date. And so your case is being rescheduled to another date. Okay, it's gonna be reset to March 28th. Your attorney is gonna stand over there and get your reset. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go. Mr. Adams, would you please sign that for her reset?
He's out there.
Timothy Roberts.
Timothy Roberts. Oh, yeah, Roberts, I thought I had the other guy, so.
It's Roberts, yeah. Is Timothy Roberts here?
He's right here.
Mr. Roberts, would you come forward?
Yes, sir.
Hold on. Okay. Now, Mr. Roberts, your full name is Timothy Ray Roberts?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Mr. Roberts?
I'm doing great, Leon. How are you today?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Now, Mr. Roberts, you're here represented by your attorney. Mr. Langston Adams, Mr. Adams, you have the same announcement?
Same announcement.
You heard the announcement that we made because of our COVID protocols in this county, we're not allowed to have any trials this month, so therefore your case is going to be reset to another date.
Okay.
Okay, it's going to be reset to March 28th of 2022. Your attorney is going to sign for your reset. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go, Mr. Roberts. Just have a seat.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. And Jesus Jaramillo. That's another one from Mr. Adams.
This is my last one, Judge.
And get Visek Vincake Swaring.
He's appeared by Zoom, Your Honor.
Oh, okay. Is Jaramillo?
He's
Jaramillo.
outside. He's injured though. Oh, no, yeah.
This is cause number 321. Would you come forward? This cause number 321-891. The case of style of state of Texas versus Jesus Jaramillo Jr. Is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Mr. Jaramillo?
Been better.
Okay.
I understand that you have an injury. We hope that you have a speedy and full recovery.
Yeah, hope so too.
Okay, now, Mr. Harry Miller, you represented here by your attorney, Mr. Langston Adams. Mr. Adams, what's your announcement?
It's the same, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Harry Miller, due to the county's COVID protocol, we are not allowed to have any trials, jury trials this month. And so therefore, your case will be reset to another date.
Okay.
Could you give us that reset date?
Yes, same thing. That's fine. Thank you.
Oh, it's gonna be reset to March 28, 2022. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. And again, we hope that you have a full and speedy recovery.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay. Next case is cause number 325818. Case of style of state of Texas versus Visek Venkateswaran. Visek Venkateswaran, are you on Zoom? Visek Venkateswaran must not be on Zoom.
I'll take care of it. They're appearing from India.
Okay, I think he's appeared on Zoom before.
He has.
Okay. We have who's
He's present.
okay. We're in session in cause number 329724. Case is style of state of Texas versus Brett Tyler Marcantel. Mr. Marcantel, would you please come forward? Your full name is Brett Tyler Marcantel?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Mr. Marcantel?
Very good.
Okay, Mr. Marcantel, you're here represented by your attorney, Mr. Tom Kelly.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Kelly, what is your announcement in Mr. Marcantel's case?
Judge, I have Brett's videos. We received them recently. If you leave us on this announcement docket, so we could have time to get through them.
Okay, how much time do you need?
30 or 45 days.
Give us a date. Okay, March 14th is your reset day. Mr. Marcantel, your attorney is gonna sign and get your reset. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
And Mr. Kelly, we'll give you time to get in contact with Vince and Swear.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, let's see. Court is in session and cause number 329158, case of style of state of Texas versus Russell Simmons. We have Russell Simmons appearing via Zoom. His attorney, Mr. Dustin Galmore, is also appearing via Zoom. Mr. Simmons, how are you doing?
I'm doing good today, Your Honor. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Galmore, how are you doing?
I'm great, Judge. Thanks for asking.
Mr. Galmore, what is your announcement in Mr. Simmons' case?
Well, Judge, I just need to clarify if he's on the pre-trial docket or the trial docket.
Trial docket.
Okay, well, it's still a trial at this point, Your Honor. And
Okay.
Mr. Ham's case, he's unavailable today to discuss it, so we'll just have to see if we can't resolve it next time.
Yeah, okay, so Mr. Simmons, due to the county's COVID protocol, we are unable to have trials this month. So your case is gonna be reset for trial. Give us a trial date. That trial date is March 28th of 2022. Mr. Simmons, your attorney, your bondsman will be given a copy of your reset. This will conclude your case. Stay in contact with your attorney and your bondsman. You're free to go and you have a blessed day, Mr. Simmons, and thanks for being patient with us.
Thank you. You have a great day too, Your Honor.
Thank you. You're welcome. Okay, let's see. I'm looking for what docket.
Yes, your trial docket page 2.
Hendricks, okay. Court is in session in cause number 327862. Case is style of State of Texas versus James Chase Hendricks. Mr. Hendricks is appearing via Zoom. Mr. Hendricks, you can take your mic off of mute. How are you doing, Mr. Hendricks?
I'm doing good, Your Honor. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Hendricks, you are represented by your attorney, Mr. Dustin Galmore. Mr. Galmore, what is your announcement in Mr. Hendricks' case?
Same announcement, Your Honor, still a trial.
Okay, Mr. Hendricks, due to the county's COVID protocol, we aren't able to have trials this month. Therefore, your case will be reset. What's the reset date?
March 28th.
Your reset date is March 28th. Stay in contact with your attorney and your bond who will be given copies of your reset date. This will conclude your case. You're free to go, and you have a blessed day.
Yes, sir. You too. Thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. Galmore, do you have any more cases?
I believe that concludes my cases, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Galmore, you're free to go, and you have a blessed day.
You too.
The person that's on Zoom that has the title B140DL, would you please take your mic off of me and announce your name?
Cameron Hernandez.
Okay, hold on a minute.
I had a little bit of a Wi-Fi glitch earlier, so I didn't know if my name was called on or yet, but
Yeah, it was called.
I'm sorry. It must have been during that time, probably 5 or 10 minutes. I couldn't get I couldn't get the Zoom to work. It was just y'all were frozen.
Oh, okay, okay.
I'm sorry about that.
Oh,
So I've been waiting. I figured, my name was called, but I was just waiting for a right time passed.
Okay, I think we're starting to break up a little bit. Now, Mr. Hernandez, this is cause number 322936. You are currently representing yourself, is that correct? Uh-oh. Mr. Hernandez, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. I'm sorry.
Okay, as your case was reset to give you an opportunity to hire an attorney, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Have you hired an attorney?
Not yet. I just need a little bit longer. I have to be able to get money to get it.
How much time do you need?
Just like a month or so.
Okay, give me
a month and a half.
Okay, your case is going to be reset to March 14th, which is about 60 days.
That's perfect. That's all I need.
Okay, your reset. So just make note of your calendar and stay in contact with your bondsman. The bondsman will give you a copy of your reset date. Thanks for being patient with us. You're free to go and you have a blessed day.
Yes, sir. You too. Bye-bye. Bye.
this here. Okay. The court is in session in cause number 329835. The case is styled the state of Texas versus Pablo M. Jimenez. We have Mr. Pablo M. Jimenez present. His attorney of record is Mr. Mark Deering. However, attorney Mark Deering is not present. Standing in for attorney Mark Deering is attorney Hector Villegas. And it's been brought to the court's attention that Mr. Jimenez, I guess, prefers to speak Spanish. He is a U.S. citizen, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So I guess he speaks English, some English and Spanish. And we have present Ms. Cynthia Renteria, who is our interpreter. Ms. Renteria, would you please raise your right hand? Ms. Renteria, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Renteria, do you swear to interpret Spanish to English and English to Spanish?
I will.
Okay, you may put your hand down. Let's see. Now, asking for the record is his name, Pablo Jimenez.
Para el registro, su nombre es Pablo Jiménez.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Jimenez, how are you doing?
Señor Jiménez, ¿cómo está?
Bien, good.
Good? Okay. Mr. Jimenez, I have before me an information that alleges that on or about January 22nd of 2021, that you committed the class, actually this information says that the class A misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated second. Now, it's been brought to the court's attention that the state is abandoning the enhancement allegation. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Jimenez, you're being charged with a DWI first. And
El cargo que tiene contra usted se lo reducieron a una clase A que es manejando bajo la influencia del alcohol.
now, Mr. Jimenez, this offense, which is, it alleges that on or about January 22nd of 2021, while you in Jefferson County, Texas, operating a motor vehicle, that you committed the class B misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated first. Do you understand what you've been charged with?
El juez quiere saber si entiende el cargo que tiene contra usted. La ofensa fue la fecha de enero 22 de 2001. Se estaba conduciendo un vehículo aquí en el condado de Jefferson, el cual lo pararon y es una ofensa de clase B, manejando bajo la.
Do you understand what he's mentioned?
¿Sí entiende?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, to this charge, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Para este cargo, ¿usted se declara culpable, no culpable o no contesta el cargo?
Culpable, guilty.
Okay. Just making a correction on the misdemeanor plea admonishment from a DWI second to DWI first. And I'm making a note that the state is waiving the enhancement paragraph. Okay. Now, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Usted se está declarando culpable por usted mismo voluntariosamente.
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Y se está declarando culpable porque en sí es culpable.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, before we go any further, Mr. Jimenez, your attorney of record is Mr. Mark Thiering. Is that correct?
Su abogado de este cargo es el abogado Terry, ¿es correcto?
Yes, sir.
And we have attorney Hector Villegas, who is standing in for Mr. Thiering. Does attorney Villegas have your permission to stand in for Mr. Thiering?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, I also have before me a document that is titled the misdemeanor plea admonishments. Mr. Jimenez, do you recognize this document? I put some writing on it.
¿Usted reconoce ese documento?
Yes, sir.
And as a box that's checked state, you see where on this document, I scratched out that it was a DWI second and made it a DWI first.
Yes, sir.
And also, thank you, attorney, check the box off for DWI first, saying that it was Class B misdemeanor. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. On page 2 of this document, there's a set of initials on a line that is titled guilty, next to a box that's titled guilty. The initials are PJ. Did you place your initials on this document?
Esos son sus
Yes,
iniciales.
sir.
On page 3 of this same document, there is a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Did you place your signature above this above this line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
And on the next document, which is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, do you recognize this document?
¿Reconoce ese documento?
Yes, sir.
Is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
¿Esa es su firma?
Yes, sir.
And there are 2 boxes that are checked at the top of this document. The first box states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
La primera X que pusieron es que no tiene derecho a apelar el caso.
Yes, sir.
And the second box that's checked states that this is that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
El segundo X es nomás diciendo que se da el derecho de no apelar el caso.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Does he have a discovery certification? Mr. Jimenez, I have another document before me that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Or is this your signature on the line above the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Jimenez, before you sign and initial these documents that I've just mentioned, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Antes que usted firmara estos documentos que el juez ya le explicó, su abogado se los explicó.
Now, did he go over these documents with you in Spanish or English?
¿Estos documentos se le explicaron en español o en inglés? En Spanish.
Okay, now, did you read and understand did you understand everything that your attorney went over?
Sí, entiende todo lo que su abogado le explicó. Yes.
Yes, and is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Todo lo que está en estos documentos es cierto. Yes.
Yes, and just for the record, are you a U.S. citizen?
Es usted
Yes.
ciudadano.
Okay. State, I have before me state's exhibit number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment. State, you like to offer state's exhibit number 1 and state's exhibit, oh, you plead guilty on here. You like to offer state's exhibit number 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Villegas, the state is offering State's Exhibit number 1. Do you have any objections?
No, Your Honor.
No objection. State's Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Attorney Villegas, you've advised and counseled Mr. Jimenez. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Jimenez, your attorney, Mr. Villegas, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
El abogado que nos está representando el señor Villegas, ¿usted está satisfecho en la manera que lo representó?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
¿Usted piensa que ha sido competente como abogado a explicarle y mostrarle todas las evidencias de su caso?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Jimenez, your attorney of record, Mr. Mark Thiering, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
También su abogado, Terrence, también está satisfecho de manera como lo representó.
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
También fue competente en representarlo legalmente.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Jimenez, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. You get to-
El juez entonces lo encuentra culpable y ve que usted está mentalmente capacitado para tener juicio.
I will also find that your pleas and waivers were freely and voluntarily given.
Que también usted, por usted mismo, se está declarando culpable.
I will also find that the evidence is sufficient to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt.
Y también la evidencia muestra que lo encuentra culpable sin ninguna duda.
State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
What is that plea bargain agreement?
It's 90 days jail, probated over 15 months. It's a $700 fine. DWI education course. Drug and alcohol assessment. 60 hours community service. And ignition interlock device.
Mr. Jimenez, the state is offering that you serve 90 days in the Jefferson County Jail, but you will not have to serve any time in the Jefferson County Jail because you will be placed on probation for 15 months.
El Estado le está ofreciendo que sirva 90 días en la cárcel, pero no va a tener que servir esos 90 días porque el Estado le está ofreciendo probación, el cual va a ser de 15 meses.
During this 15-month probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $700 and court costs of $422, which comes to a total of fine and court costs of $1,122.
Durante su probación de 15 meses va a tener que pagar una fianza de $700 más el costo de la corte, que son 222, que le suma el total de $1,122 y lo tiene que pagar durante el periodo de su probación durante sus 15.
You'll be required to pay a probation fee of $60 each month,
Va a tener que pagar $60 cada mes.
a urinalysis fee of $15 each month,
Va a tener que hacerse un examen de orina, el cual le sale a $15 cada mes.
a Jefferson County DWI education and initial evaluation fee of $125 on the day of the plea,
va a tener que pagar un curso de el cargo que tiene contra usted, que van a ser un solo pago de $125.
And should a further evaluation be needed, you'll be required to pay an additional $50.
Y si necesitan evaluarlo más, en este caso serían $50.
Your total monthly installments, or that is, the total amount that you would have to pay each month while you're on probation is $155. Will you be able to pay the $155 each month?
Su total viene sumiendo a 155 cada mes durante el periodo de su probación. ¿Usted podrá pagar los 155 cada mes?
Yes.
You'll be required to perform 60 hours of community service,
Va a tener que hacer 60 horas de servicio en comunidad,
attend and complete a DWI education class,
va a tener que terminar un curso de manejando bajo la influencia.
have a drug and alcohol assessment,
También se va a someter a una prueba de alcohol y droga.
install an DWI interlock device on any vehicle that you own or operate,
También va a tener que instalar un aparato, no sé muy bien el nombre de Ajá. How long does he have to have this device?
while he's on probation. This
Durante
condition of
la
probation.
aprobación.
And the state is waiving the enhancement paragraph from a DWI second to a DWI first. And you will also be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of this probation.
También el Estado le está convirtiendo su caso en vez de una clase A, él va a ser una clase B.
Mr. Jimenez, do you understand the state's offer?
Si entiende la oferta del Estado,
Yes.
And do you think the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
¿usted cree que la oferta del Estado fue justa en su caso?
And do you accept the state's offer?
¿Acepta la oferta del Estado?
Okay. Mr. Jimenez, I'll follow the plea bargaining agreement that you have entered into with the state. Stan,
Va a seguir el argumento que usted llegó de acuerdo con el Estado y su abogado.
stand on the X next to your attorney and follow the directions of our clerk.
Va a firmar unos documentos.
Once you finish following her directions, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Judge. And the excuse, Your Honor.
Yes, and you have a blessed day as well, sir.
You too, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Mr. Kelly,
Yes, Judge, thank you.
Mr. Bisak is,
You built to understand me, sir? You raise your right hand. Do you swear you've never been given the charge of probation in this state or any other state? And do you have no other criminal penalty charges? Or for the maps of probation?
okay. Okay, y'all have a blessed day. The court is in session and cause number 325818. The case is filed with State of Texas versus Visak Vinswerin. We have Mr. Visak Vinswerin, who is appearing via Zoom. Mr. Vin K. Swearing, how are you doing?
Well, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Vin K. Swearing, you're here represented by your attorney, Mr. Tom Kelly. Mr. Kelly, how are you doing?
Just fine, Judge. Thank you.
Mr. Kelly, what is your announcement in Mr. Ben K. Swearing case?
Judge, I believe that Mr. Ham and I are just about to the goal line on a resolution in this case. If you would leave us on this docket until he returns to the office, so he and I can discuss it.
Okay, give us a reset date. This case is going to be reset to March 14th of 2022. Mr. Ben K. Swearing, stay in contact with your attorney. The attorney will be given a copy of your reset. You're free to go, and you have a blessed day. Mr. Kelly, once you get your reset, you'll be free to go as well, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Your Honor. You as well.
Get your stand over there. Okay. Mr. Wright Criminal, Nathaniel Trenzy.
Trying to get him on Zoom, Your Honor.
Oh,
Just stand off.
okay, this is cause number 329400, case of style of state of Texas versus Christina Sandoval. Ms. Sandoval, would you please come forward? Your full name is Christina Sandoval?
Sir?
Is your full name Christina Sandoval?
Yes, sir.
How are you doing, Ms. Sandoval?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking, Mr. Sandoval. You're here represented by your attorney, Wright Criminal, Attorney Kimmler. How are you doing?
Fine, Your Honor, thank you.
Attorney Kimmler, Mr. Sandoval's case is on the court's trial docket. What's your announcement?
Ready.
Okay, Ms. Sandoval, due to the county's COVID protocol, we're unable to have trials the month of January. So therefore, your case, along with the other cases that was on our trial docket, have to be reset. Your attorney is gonna get the reset date. What's your reset date? It's gonna be reset to March 28th of 2022. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. You get Eric Segrist. He's okay, we're in session in two cases. First case is cause number 328430, and the second case is 328940. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Eric Martin Segrist.
Yes,
Is that your full name?
yes, sir.
How you doing, Mr. Segrist?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Mr. Segrist, you're here represented by your attorney, Ryan Matuska. Attorney Matuska, how you doing?
Morning.
Good morning. Mr. Matuska, what is your announcement?
There you go.
Okay, now, Mr. Segrist, because of the court's COVID protocol, we are not allowed to have any trials during the month of January. Therefore, your trial, along with the other cases, have to be reset. So your case is being reset. You're gonna get a reset date. Once you get your reset date from your attorney, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
You too.
And it's gonna be reset to March 28th. Mr. Matuska, you have any other cases?
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
Okay, this will conclude your case. You're free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Judge.
Sweet. reset. Reset. Binary. Reset. Fields. Reset. He's in jail. Make sure that was reset. No, that was the bomb for Compton. Mr. Bailey, I guess we'll do our bond forfeitures. Mr. Bailey, would you please call the name of Alazia Compton, calls number 330276. Yeah, she's the second from the bottom on the announcement docket. On the last page, page 5. Okay. Ms. Compton, would you please come forward? Wasn't Fields reset? Wasn't Fields reset? That was mine. Have Fields to come in, yeah. You print off a copy for him. Okay, Compton. And last time this is cause number 330276. Your case was reset for you to hire an attorney, is that correct? Have you hired your attorney? Okay, why haven't you hired your attorney? How much time do you need? Okay, I'm gonna give you 2 months. Okay. You're gonna stand over there and get your reset. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go. And you have a blessed day. There's 60 days. Give her 60 days. Okay, court is in session in 2 cases. First case is cause number 327704 and cause number 329456. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Cody Jamal Broussard. Cody Jamal Broussard was scheduled to be in court for the court's announcement docket on today's date of January 10 of 2022 at 9 a.m. At or about 9 a.m., the court's bailiff called the name of Cody Broussard at the courthouse door. Cody Broussard did not answer. Cody Broussard has not appeared in court since the court's been in session. Cody Broussard's attorney, Ms. Barbara Provo, did appear. However, Mr. Broussard has not appeared. The time now is 12:13 p.m. on today's date. Mr. Bailiff, would you please call the name of Cody Broussard? Cody Broussard's name was just called again by the court's bailiff at the courthouse door. He did not answer. Reasonable time has passed to give Mr. Broussard an opportunity to appear in court. He has not appeared in court. State, do you have a motion?
Yes, Your Honor. State would move for a bond.
That motion will be granted. Cody Broussard's bond shall be forfeited and a warrant shall be issued for his arrest and cause numbers 327-704 and cause number 329-456. Next case is cause number 330156. Case is style of state of Texas versus Giovanna Del Rosario Ventura. Ms. Ventura was scheduled to be in court this morning for the court's announcement docket at 9 a.m. At about 9 a.m., she did not answer when her name was called by the court's bailiff at the courthouse door. She has not appeared in court since the court's been in session. However, Ms. Ventura's attorney, Mr. William Wilkerson, appeared, and I think her felony attorney, Mr. James Paget, was in court as well. And Ms. Ventura has not appeared in court. The time now is 12:15 p.m. on today's date. Mr. Bailiff, would you please call the name of Giovanna Ventura? Giovanna Ventura's name was just called again by the court's bailiff at the courthouse door. Giovanna Ventura did not answer. A reasonable time has passed to give Ms. Ventura an opportunity to appear in court. She has not appeared in court. State, do you have a motion?
Yes, Your Honor, state would move for a bond forfeiture.
That motion will be granted. Giovanna Ventura's bond will be forfeited and warrant shall be issued for her arrest in cause number 330156. Okay. Page 4. Is that Charles? Well, who you talking about? He's in jail. Okay. Okay, that leaves, let's see. Okay. Let's see, everybody, let's get it on the trial docket. I'm gonna move, I mean, on the pre-trial conference docket, trial docket. We just have one case left. That case is cause number 328274, case of style of state of Texas versus Nathaniel Mark Trincy.
Your Honor, I've asked to download the Zoom app. It basically the meeting code. And I immediately have some difficulty figuring it out.
You could give him the phone call. I mean, you have his phone number, we could give him a call.
Yes, yes, sir.
Why don't you give it to the court coordinator? You can stand over here on the X. Yeah, she's talking to her.
Yeah, Judge, is that you?
Okay, Mr. Trizzy, this is Jeff.
I can hear you in the background there. Hi, how's it going?
Okay, it's going fine now. Let me, this is cause number 328274. The case is style of state of Texas versus Nathaniel Mark Trinzy. Mr. Trinzy, is that your full name?
Nathaniel Mark Trenzy, correct.
Okay, Mr. All right, Mrs. Trinzy, you are represented in your case by Attorney Wright Kimler. Attorney Kimler is present in the courtroom.
That's correct.
Okay, now, Mr. Trinzi, how are you doing?
Well, I'm very disturbed because I wasn't prepared for this, and I gotta tell you, I don't know how to use the technology of Zoom.
Okay, well, that's why we calling you on the phone. So we can use the technology on our telephone.
Thank you for your courtesy. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Now, Mr. Kimler, what's your announcement in Mr. Trinzi's case?
Trial, Your Honor, we're ready.
Now, Mr. Trinzi, because of Jefferson County's COVID protocol, we are unable to have trials for the month of January. Therefore, your case, as well as all the other cases on our trial docket, have to be reset. That means you'll be given another trial date. Give us a date. And your case is going to be reset to March 28th.
March 28th. I understand what you just said.
Okay. Stay in contact with your attorney, Mr. Trinzi. He will be given a copy of your reset date. You're free to go, and you have a blessed day.
You too. Happy New Year, and I'm pleased to meet you, and thank you for your courtesies.
Oh, you're welcome.
Okay, everybody take care, and my lawyer's there, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll talk to you later, buddy.
Okay.
All right. And you have a blessed day. Mr. Kim, this is the last case. You're free to go as well, and you have a blessed day. And this will conclude the calling of the court's trial docket, the court's pretrial conference docket, and the court's announcement docket. All three dockets were scheduled on today's date, which is January 10th, 2022 at 9 a.m. in County Court at Law Number 2 of Jefferson County, Texas, Judge Terrence L. Holmes presiding. Everyone, please have a blessed day.